to VGB's podcast, episode 21. I'm one of your hosts, John Warren. With me is my forever co-host, Nikki Grace. And
hello!
Hello! Hello!
I've watched
Live
John
from Thursday. It's VGB's.
John, I've watched an unbelievable amount of Saturday Night Live in the last week.
Why?
Like old clips.
Okay.
So I watched Sushi Glory Hole, which is the new Lonely Island.
Very funny.
And YouTube was like, well,
you're ready for more.
You're ready for more, right? So then I watched a lot of digital shorts.
They let you into the, like, I've watched a lot of things on YouTube where I feel like they're slow to lift the gate algorithmically to the rest of it. They're like, I don't know. But you watch one SNL thing, they're like you want the whole
whole fucking hose, right?
Yeah.
I found a website that is the hose. It's the fire hose for Blue Sky. And I thought I was going to have a stroke. Like, it's every single post as it is posted. Have you seen this?
Insane. No.
I'll send it to you right now. Blue Sky Fire Hose.
Blue Sky Fire Hose.
Just go to firesky.tv.
Firesky.tv. Is this going to break? Oh my God.
It's insane.
Whoa.
It's just the hose. So this is every single post that is happening on the platform live. In real time.
That is wild.
Insane.
Wow, that fire hose is busy.
Yeah. I don't remember why I was talking about
I've seen 843 buttholes in a row. I'm just kidding. That would have been how it was about 18 months ago. Can
you believe 500,000 people joined that app yesterday?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's
Now,
nuts.
It's so weird. Something must have happened. I don't know. Like,
did anything happen on the other one?
Something must have happened on the other one. Something must have happened.
Do you think
like the guy may have said, I don't think blocks really work anymore.
I don't think blocks work anymore. What do you think it's like being over there? Because you just have to wait at this point. They don't have to do anything. That's the critical thing about building, I guess, your platform on an open protocol, is that you kind of don't have to do anything. You just have to wait for the other one to fuck up, to desync itself so deeply that it falls apart.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it must be weird. It must be pretty strange working at Blue Sky to just be like, I can't immediately think of a platform or service or product that is built by the bad will created by something else. Like in real time. It's just like, you can see it Voltroning every single time Elon Musk does something terrible. It's like you can see just parts of another thing coming together.
Yeah. Do you think, are they going to make money off of it? Or are they too woke for that?
They were too woke for Jack Dorsey.
Which is crazy, right? Not a high bar to clear, but that is kind of crazy. But it's
still pretty crazy.
He really said, I'm going to do it again. And then he said, I'm okay, actually.
I think what's so funny is that the speed at which he decided, nah. Because he was like, he was like, yeah, like all the press releases, like Jack Dorsey's involved with this. Yeah. And at some point, I swear to God, they said he was like the chairman or like some big executives. I swear that's true. But pretty quickly, it was like, no, I'm not that. I'm just around.
I'm just here.
And then he stopped even having an account, but he's like, I still like these guys. He's like, I don't really like these guys.
Yeah, he was on the board. He started it. He was on the board, and then
he bailed.
He left the board and was like, please don't leave Twitter.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Because I've seen these woke losers building Blue Sky.
All these wokies that I picked and hired.
I picked and hired and won't let me sell Jack Goat Yoga coin on Blue Sky. Oh
yeah,
no.
he was the CEO and then he deleted his account.
What a goof. Yeah, but that Blue Sky fire hose is wild.
That's crazy, right? It's every single one.
Every single one. How's it going?
You know,
Say no more.
How about you?
You know what?
How's your house?
It's good. Yeah, it's good.
Do you want to find another octave to hit?
I think only dogs could hear that one.
Do you have? Okay, wait. Here, we'll do the run through. Do all of the toilets work?
Yes.
Okay. How do you have any bidets set up on the toilets?
No bidets.
Are you going to add? Is the plan to add some bidets to the toilets?
The plan is to add a bidet to my office toilet. Anne does not like the bidet.
Okay, so, got it. Great.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do all of the appliances in the kitchen, are they in?
Yes. As of like 2 days ago, yes.
Do they all work?
Yes.
Have you used all? Okay, see? This is why we ask.
See, this is why we ask. So we actually moved the fridge from one side of the kitchen to the other.
Now, the fridge initially was too big for the spot that it was going to go into, correct?
Yeah. Instead of getting another fridge, we moved it.
You moved it.
With the water line. Now, two things influenced that decision. One is that I actually did not like the fridge placement to begin with.
Why did you not like the fridge placement?
It's hugging the wall in a way that only actually a few fridges built, and I'm not kidding, built like pre-2000 would fit in it.
I see.
So something we discovered about this kitchen is that it was very much like hardwired.
Yeah, with the intention of no one ever.
Specific way.
Yes.
Like the dishwasher was hardwired to the house, which you're actually not allowed to do in the city of Dallas.
On account of the electricity and the water kind of being married together that way seems unsafe.
Yeah, so we changed that.
Okay.
And we moved the fridge over. Now the fridge, as you and a friend of the show, LB, know,
counter depth max.
A counter depth max LG with the 4 types of ice.
Orb, crush, cube,
small cube.
Okay, so it doesn't kind of seem like 3
silly.
kinds of ice.
It's really kind of 3 kinds of ice. Actually, what I'll say is this. The little cubes are perfect for like you bruise your elbow real bad.
Okay.
Crush will melt too fast.
Sure.
Cube will not conform to elbow.
Because too big.
So
it's medical ice.
It's medical ice. And then, which is true.
Orb.
And so when we installed it the first day, we flushed the filter and it was cool. Then when we moved it, the guy installed a different line and fed it through the wall into the back. And like, okay. And he was like, okay, see ya. And then we're like, great. Thanks, dude. And now it tastes like plastic, like straight up plastic.
Yikes.
Now, did I drink 2 full glasses of it thinking, it may not be that bad?
What's the in-between full plastic and microplastic? It's like not a macroplastic.
It's not a macroplastic.
It's just plastic.
It's just plastic.
Yeah. So so that's good.
It was definitely one of those things where I'm like, so he's coming back, I think, tomorrow to check his work.
That reminds me.
The funniest part of it is that Anne called him. He's a very nice Jamaican man named Michael. And I really liked him, but he is sometimes hard to understand on the phone.
Yes.
So he said, it might be the glue. And Anne was like, oh, so you used a glue? And I did not use a glue. And Anne's like, why did
that's
you
plausible.
Suggest it? Why did you suggest
he may not have used a glue, but the tube may have had glue, on it.
In it? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So he's going to. So we were kind of confused by that, but he is going to come check his work.
Okay. Well, that's good.
So that's good.
Okay. What else? Do you have a bed to sleep in?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. Do you have your desk and gamer computer set up yet?
No, because the guy that was supposed to route our Ethernet. So so one funny thing, like I was like, my PC got here, yay!
Yes,
and I fired it up, and it's like, yay, everything works. Not everything works. Wi-Fi does not work on this thing. This
bad boy. Before?
It did before.
Did you unplug? So remember when I bought my GameCube and I brought it into work sad because the GameCube I bought didn't work. And then I was like, well, I got to return it. And it turned out that the power was not plugged in all the way.
Was not plugged in all the way. It's not that. I think it's on the motherboard itself.
And that's a hard rip. You can't just unplug that and plug that
I can't just I'd have to dig into the guts of this. And you will recall.
Yeah, well, that was
I'm not great at digging into the guts of this.
We did a really bad job of it.
We put our heads together and failed to do it after about 15 hours. Yeah. Yeah. That
was like one of the last things we did pre-pandemic. Do you remember that?
Yes,
it's crazy.
It was January 2020. We were in the video office.
Kobe had just died.
Because
we watched the first Laker game back.
We did
while we were inside of your computer.
Yeah. Damn. Yeah, that was a weird week.
Deeply weird week.
Really weird week. And so we just kind of do it, and then I spent. Because I don't know if you remember this, but Ryan, the video guy, shouts to Ryan. I text him and he texts me like something unbelievably random that the other person does not really respond to once every like 5 months.
That's a great relationship to have.
Great relationship. He had like a client coming in on Monday morning. So I was like, it was the thing where I was like, I had to be out of there.
Yeah.
And so it was like the next day, it was Sunday, that I just was like, I fucking have to get this done. And it worked and it happened. Anyway.
You locked in.
So the Ethernet guy that's supposed to route all this stuff, the first guy just straight up said, I'm having surgery. And I'm going to be out of commission for 6 weeks.
Okay.
And I was like, okay. Second guy was like, cool, I'm on your schedule. Great. The night before, he's like, I have bronchitis. I have no idea when I'll be able to do this. I was like, great.
Awesome.
The guy who's coming out on Monday, I had scheduled an appointment through his website for yesterday afternoon. But about 5 minutes after I scheduled it, he called me and he goes, I don't have that available. And I was like, why was I able to make an appointment booking with that time? And he's like,
on the website.
Yeah, I don't know, but I can do Monday morning. I was like, great. So I don't know, man.
So on Wednesday, you'll have hardwired internet is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I think it'll probably be sometime in the next 6 weeks. I don't know.
That's
so
good.
I've been using... So Glider, I got a new PC for Glider stuff, a little laptop. So I've been doing a little gaming on that, but it's mostly been MacBook. And all my consoles are not hooked up because we're gonna fucking mount this TV, and I don't want to.
No, why would you?
I don't want to like hook it up and then do it.
Take it
down.
It. That's crazy.
But now I'm so behind on shit.
Nah,
playing. I am.
Nah.
I really am.
What are you gonna do? You know,
I want to play Metaphor.
You can do that on PC.
Yeah, but
It's got an HDMI port.
That's true.
That's gonna be way easier. It's one cable, cable power,
and it's apparently not bad on Steam Deck. I don't know.
It's fucking anime. It can't be that hard to run.
It can't be that hard to run. It's all cell shaded or whatever.
Yeah, it's fucking anime. It's easy.
Anyway, we'll see. So my office is like kind of set up.
Okay. I'm trying to think if there's anything else.
Do we have power and water and electricity?
Well, I figure that because
no,
you don't. So you're on solar
generator,
right now.
Generator.
All generator.
I bought 8 generators on Prime Day.
That's good. Generac loves you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a natural gas generator, John?
No, we don't. We don't have
gas. Get one.
So because of the old fracking they used to do, there's no gas in this neighborhood.
Because they took it all. They literally took it all.
They took it all.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Texas still not on the national power grid?
Well, it is. There's a proposal to put it on the Fed.
So if you lose power, what's the plan?
If I lose power, I'm gonna scream until Greg Abbott gives it back to me. Yeah,
okay. That's a great plan.
We do it. We have a word burning. We have a wood burning fireplace.
So you're fucked. Is what
we're fucked. Yeah, because I'm not gonna build a fire. Like, do I look like I'm going to build a fire?
No, you're cooked.
Absolutely,
you're fucking cooked.
Absolutely not.
Well, I was going to tell you about like Generac's line of products because I did kind of read a lot about that the other day because
you're prepping. You're becoming
it's because I was helping a friend look for a car, and the cars that he was looking at were upmarket. Insofar as the brand was upmarket, but the price was not insane. And I think because I was looking at so many Lexuses, they assumed that I own a home. And because I clicked on all of the refrigerator advertisements that they gave me a couple of weeks ago, I really think that they think I just bought a home. So I'm getting a lot of Generac ads across the internet. So I did go on the Home Depot website to look at Generac, and they've got a lovely line of natural gas generators, but that doesn't seem helpful to you on account that they sucked it all out.
They sucked all the gas out. Yeah. They sucked all the gas out. I guess we go get propane, like a lot of propane.
That's dangerous though.
Yeah.
But here's the thing.
I can get a lot of it and daisy chain it and then kind of put it in the wall.
That's really smart.
You know?
And then you put a big red container outside your house. That makes it obvious as to where you need to kind of hit that to make it.
Yeah. Like if there's like if there's like a Call of Duty shootout, everyone knows like, hey, that's hit that big red thing. Yeah.
Unfortunately, John, you do seem like a perfect candidate for Elon Musk's Tesla's power bank.
Power bank, yeah.
Which sucks.
Are there any alternatives for that?
Not really at the price. Unfortunately, at the price to wattage, no. So
that's
you
tough.
can give Elon some money.
That's tough because he never did the solar panels, right? Like he never. Oh, he did.
Yeah,
he did the solar panels.
Electric. Well, no, hold on. Electric generator for house.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. He did the panels because Marquez got them.
He got him on his stupid house.
On his stupid house in New Jersey.
Generac, actually, I'm on the Generac website now. They make electric ones.
Okay, all right.
So you can get a 24 kilowatt hour home standby generator from our friends at Generac for the low price of $6,000, and this uses propane, so it actually doesn't use electricity because Google is useless. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So video games, huh, John?
Video games, yeah. So video games. Let's talk about the most like Niki John thing that I think we've seen in a bit to discuss because it just that's right. It's Wheel World.
I was actually fucking amped about Wheel World. That game seems sick as hell. Wheel World is like a cell shaded. It looks kind of like a splits the uprights with each pole being Sable and Roller Drome. And it's a BMX. It's a BMX open worldy like bicycling game. It's really funny. Cool. It looks sick as hell. It's really funny because last night when I was blazed out of my mind after a concert that I went to, I watched a 35-minute video of a guy doing an indoor bike park in Ohio, and I said, "What if I got in a BMX?"
Oh, okay. So, like, this is kind of a big shift for you, maybe.
Because if I could get into bikes are cheap. And I know how to ride that.
Right.
Already. Yeah. But you want to talk about the 2K mini game that was added, Blitzball. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's called Blitzball. And it's pretty cool. No, it's called Gravity Ball. They're calling it a new way to compete in NBA 2K25. Grab your squad and play this supercharged gravity-defying game available to purchase as optional DLC. Basically, it just puts a new location in the city, which is kind of a big hub mode if you haven't played NBA 2K.
Which is like, yeah, very critically is like when you make your My Player, which is your personal avatar, the city is just this persistent, it's the tower, but huge, for the tower from Destiny, but huge. It's where you can like get a skateboard and a go-kart and you drive around, and Jake from State Farm is there, and you go to the Nike store to buy Nike shoes, and you go to the State Farm store to buy khakis, and you can pick up basketball. And now there's a new part of the city where you go play this game that you spend money on, Gravity Ball.
Damn. Gravity Ball.
And it's a third-person shooter.
Yeah, crucially, when I saw the video before I clicked into it and read about it, I thought it was Fortnite.
And it's because it looks exactly like Fortnite.
It looks exactly like Fortnite.
Yes.
The way the characters move looks like Fortnite.
Which is nuts because I don't think that 2K is in Unreal.
No. But these models are not using even remotely the same physics engine and locomotion as they do in the video game NBA 2K25.
Do you think, John, that when you go into Gravity Ball in 2K, it spins up Unreal? Or do you think it is all still in engine, in the 2K engine?
Because I don't.
Do you think it opens a second EXE?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Because if it's just part of the city, I feel like that would be very difficult.
Yes. Okay.
I think that'd be very difficult. It's still the same engine, I guess. But which means like that it stripped out parts of it.
Yes.
To me.
Which must mean that it feels, I haven't played it yet because I don't own this 2K. It must feel like shit. Right?
It must be strange.
Wow. Because you won't say that it's bad.
Well, I mean, because I feel like it looks like it's responsive enough, and the responsiveness and like acceleration is what I would be like, does that actually like what does that feel like? What is the acceleration like? What does that all feel like? So
is it out? No, it's out tomorrow.
Yeah.
We should probably explain what the game mode is. It's 3v3 or 5v5.
Yeah.
There's an arena and there's one ball, and on opposite ends of the arena are goals that have different points. There's 2, 3, and 4 point. 2, 3, 4, and 5.
There's a 5.
Orbs.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You can run around on platforms. You use a gravity gun to grab the ball, get power-ups with the intention of moving the ball forward to get the ball into the goal. There's points, and then you do it that way. It's like Halo 5's rendition of Griff Ball a little bit, which I loved.
Griff Ball was fun.
Yeah, but it is deeply not basketball.
No.
The reaction to this
it's been fun.
Has been yeah.
People are really, really mad about it.
If you want to look at an audience of people who are not being listened to actively, make your way over to the @2K Twitter account, find this Gravity Ball tweet, and just really scroll down one time. Scroll down one time. Yeah. My laptop died. And you'll see a bunch of people being like, what the fuck? I want the basketball to feel better.
Mm-hmm. And I think like a lot of people who are, I would say, outside of this fandom, outside of the sphere, looked at the inclusion of Gravity Ball as a positive of like, oh, this team is trying something new and interesting and different. And I don't know what people are upset about. And I understand that
from the outside looking in.
From the outside looking in, I'm like, well, yeah, it's a sports franchise that does a yearly thing, and now they've done something really different. And why is that not an exciting prospect? It looks like it's something that would actually pull me in a little bit more as an outsider, blah, 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 blah. But what I think a lot of those people don't understand is like the core audience of 2K that is not spending
any money other than the $80 they give them every single year for 2K.
That core group is unbelievably frustrated at how little progress has been made in the core gameplay loops of this game in the past decade,
10 years.
It's not as bad as Madden in a lot of ways.
No,
but it's really there. Close.
Yes.
And like Madden, they are a monopoly. Now, unless I've really missed it, there is no exclusive Adam Silver signed license for the NBA. But EA ducked out of that because they had a bunch of them that were they had a bunch of games in a row that were so bad they were eventually like, we're going to stop making these.
The servers are definitely off, but there was that EA NBA Live that had Embiid on the cover. Was that
not NBA Elite?
No.
Or was that a live game?
It was a live. So they did Elite unnumbered.
Right.
And then
that's right.
They didn't release it. A couple years later, I want to say it was 19 was the one with Embiid on it. That is one of the worst sports video games I've ever played in my life.
That's correct.
The servers have to be off, right? But if not, we should play it.
We should,
because it feels terrible. And it's like, I understand making a sports video game is one of the, especially when you like the NBA will give you their license if you give them the money. That seems easy, right? Yeah. Like I understand the appeal, but like 2K has such a stranglehold on it. It's a functional monopoly. It's like the same way Google is a functional monopoly, even though there are obviously other options. 2K is a functional monopoly in that like there's just nothing. You're not going to play a non-2K game if you're trying to play a basketball simulation video game.
Right.
And yeah, people are pissed because the reaction to this is, why the fuck are you making this when you have not touched franchise mode in 2 years? When I still cannot pick what era I want to start in my eras.
Like my eras, and Kofi, friend of the show, Kofi has been on this for a while. My eras is, for those who don't know, a way to basically play franchise mode starting from the beginning, the dawning of a very specific era in basketball. And the earliest you can go is the 1983 season before Michael Jordan is drafted into the NBA.
Yeah.
That's the earliest you can go. This is a league whose first NBA draft was 1947. Now, am I saying that it would not be complicated to start back in 1947. Sure. It would, because
when the
teams were different.
Still had,
the baskets
still had the bottoms in them. Can you imagine a 2K game, simulating a 2K game where the basket still had the bottom in it? It would take 6 hours because they got to get the ball out of the fucking basket every shot.
But I'm telling you, it fucking whipped though. When Wilt in 1959, when Wilt Chamberlain comes in, and he's rated 99, and everyone else is 60. Everyone else is a 60, and this dude is putting up 100 points or whatever. Like, the idea that you can't start anywhere in the NBA's history. Like, think about the NBA ABA merger. Like the first year of
so
that. Like, that would be sick. Like, that
and
would
it's
be so
also
cool.
because the especially as a relief to Madden, right? It is. It is. I do think it's very interesting that, like, and I wonder if it is actually a testament to the sports. There are so many sports, but only 3 of them have games that work.
Right. Mm-hmm.
What is that about?
I don't know.
Only soccer in EAFC, basketball in 2K, and Madden and football in Madden that have games that actually people play. Yeah. People, like, Sony spends a lot of money every year on MLB The Show, and nobody buys it. Like, nobody is buying MLB The Show. And there are other sports that nobody is, NHL, EA makes an NHL game every year. That's crazy. Why?
Right.
For who? For what?
Yeah.
If any game was going to go the route that people want Madden to go, which is where they call it EA NHL, and they release a DLC that is a roster pack every year. Yeah. It should be the NHL game, but they don't do that.
By the way, 2 to 4 million copies of MLB The Show since, like, MLB 20.
2 to 4 million copies per game per year.
Yeah.
I mean, that's good for a video game, but not good for a baseball video.
I understand.
For sure.
I'm both clarifying and agreeing with you that.
No, for sure.
When you say no one, it certainly doesn't clear the zeitgeist at all. Like, it is only Robert Flores on Twitter posting his highlights of, like, MLB The Show. It's only like Bill Handstock for like a month. that's like talking about the show. Like, and what's weird the show, and maybe you're about to make this point, but what's weird about the show specifically is that although I would not say the core gameplay loop has done anything differently, they have done things like introduce the Negro Leagues, which was honestly a very, very loving and interesting way to weave that into baseball. They added the ability to just add women to Major League Baseball.
Yes, you just do that.
Now you can just have women. You're like, oh, you want 100 people on the Rangers roster that are just women? Yeah. Great. You got it.
Just do that.
Like, you could just do that.
And I wonder if it is because I've been thinking about this a lot. I only think about baseball in October, which is honestly, like, I think more people should approach sports this way. And I think it would make it much more accessible. If you only pay attention to sports at the end of the season, it makes it so much more accessible because it is really easy for you to be like, okay, here are the storylines coming into the end of this.
And here are the stakes
of sports.
The stakes are much clearer.
Yes, the stakes are really clear. If you're watching baseball in May, who cares? Who gives a shit?
The stakes are basically marginal increases in stat lines year over year.
Yeah, it deeply doesn't matter. But when you watch baseball in October, all of it matters, right? Mm-hmm. And I wonder if baseball, because there's so much of it, and it is so passive, that is why the games don't do numbers relative to the number of people who definitely care about baseball in the United States.
Right.
Baseball, for most people, only really matters in October, right? Like the NFL played in 26. It's not 26. Roger would love it if it was 26. What is it, 18?
It's 18.
Is it 18?
Well, no, it's 17 games now. It will be 18 soon.
Okay, so it's 17 to 18 games a year. They all matter. You know what the stakes are. per game. Yeah. And it is a very defined amount of time. You know when it starts, you know when it ends. The Super Bowl is the end of it. You can miss the beginning of baseball season and not know that baseball is happening until July. Right?
Yeah.
You can't do that with the NFL. Not here.
Yeah. And you can have weird things in baseball where it's just like, oh, the game that was scheduled today straight up didn't happen. So what we're going to do is that 2 months later, you're going to play two of them
in one day. Same day. And all of the guys are going to do it. They get a half-hour lunch break, and then they do another baseball game.
I don't know why that's so funny to me.
Because no other sport is like that.
No other sport does that.
The idea that it rained too hard, we couldn't play it again. So 6 months from now...
It's like a punishment. It's like you're not only has God rained this game out, you're punished for listening to the God, and now you'll have to play two of them in one day.
Yeah, they don't even shorten them.
No.
They're just like play two of them. Yeah, and then it's like, oh, okay, well, I guess I got to play two of them.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't remember how we got down here, but I think that I remember. 2K players are like, why are you spending this time, energy, and money on this weird game mode when
we nobody have a bunch of stuff unaddressed?
Yes, literally nobody is asking for this. Straight up.
Yep.
Why are you trying to turn 2K into Roblox?
Right.
Nobody is asking for that. You make so much money. Off of this already. Your window into you dipping your toe into the Robloxification of your engine should not be happening in 2K when you have so much other stuff that you need to handle.
Right.
I think is probably how I would phrase it. Because even when EA in EAFC and in Madden are like, we've done something weird. It still is the sport.
Yeah.
They're like, we put a futsal mode in Volta. We did weird 4v4 football in Madden.
Yeah.
It's still, you're playing, you're still playing football.
When I read the word gravity ball, I was like, oh, sick. They made slam ball.
That's exactly what I also thought. I was like, they did.
Sick.
They went 4v4 slam ball. Now you just
style. Cranked everyone's vertical up to 400.
Yes.
And like, this will be really neat,
you're closing the gap between NBA Street and 2K, and it feels like that's what you're No. There's guns in it.
Yeah.
What do you mean? For who? But like, why? But also, to be clear, like, why EA isn't just making an NBA Street game? Considering there is no exclusivity, obviously you're not going to you're not going to do anything on the simulation side. You should just be making the arcade basketball game.
I mean, they make 2 sim football games now. They could, if they wanted to, and we talked about one of these things a couple weeks ago. They could take a small team and do the following. Make NBA Street.
Yep.
Make NFL Street. Make Volta its own thing. Make Wayne Gretzky Hockey again. That's a Midway product, but that was an arcade hockey game. They could do Def Jam with an AEW license if they wanted to. It's like there are...
You could perhaps, John, call the label that all of those games go under. Perhaps you could call it EA Big.
Big. Yeah,
or
because
something.
It's just so big and bold.
Yeah, bold and interactive games.
Maybe you throw like this is like probably too insane.
Right.
Maybe you throw like a snowboarding game in there. It's like extreme sports. It is weird to me. I've been really fucking high on my supply lately in a lot of ways. I with all the Walgreens closing, I literally sat down at my desk writing notes about how I would start a drugstore. And I'm just like,
can I think about how you would do it? You don't put any of the shampoo in prison. You don't put the deodorant in prison.
And you hire people You got more people than you need necessarily, and you pay them well, and you don't actively hate their guts, and you have a pharmacist that is actually there all day. I can't, like, the Fayetteville Walgreens, and thank fucking God I don't live there anymore. It was an honest to fucking God coin flip. If the pharmacist was at work that day, and I was just like, thank God I don't have like cancer meds I need or something. And it's like, but kind of like, but in video games too, it's like, it would be so easy to totally undo your own hubris as EA and go, let's take these massive budgets that we put toward other things.
It would not be expensive.
Just crack it in 8 parts.
Yes.
4, whatever.
Yeah.
And then just apply it to these things that you used to be really good at.
And there are people who would be deeply excited
oh my God.
to make this stuff.
Yes.
And also that the thing that is like, I think something that I've been thinking about is like the creative rut that not even, I went to a concert last night. I saw Mr. Wives, a band that I loved and have loved for a decade. But their later stuff I kind of fell off of. I like their earlier stuff more than I like their later stuff. And then it wasn't until last night when I was watching them on stage, and I was like, these people have been doing art for money for 11 straight years. They have not stopped doing art, the same art for money for 11 years. It is, and they're about to go on hiatus. This is their last tour for a minute, and my bones told me that this is like, this is it. So I was like, okay, so I gotta go. But like, the amount of creative juice that you would get from being like, hey, a quarter of the Madden team does not have to make Madden for 2 years. Do you understand how and then you obviously you cycle that, right? So it's like a quarter of that team does not have to make Madden. They're making NFL Street, and then the NFL Street 2 comes out a while later, and it's a different quarter of that team, right? They are going to come back to Madden
so refreshed
with new ideas. And like, it also doesn't even have to be those Madden people can go make an NBA game, right? Like it doesn't explicitly mean that they have to go make the exact an offshoot of the thing that they are making, but it's like the amount of creative refreshment that you get by not having to do the exact same thing that you have been doing for so long, impossible to quantify. Those people will come back with new, better ideas on how to make your cash cow better while also making you money on your other thing.
Which actually, now that you're talking about it, kind of makes me sad for the 2K team, because this now that we frame it through that lens, it almost looks like a cry for help. Of just
what if we could make anything else?
What if we could make fucking anything else?
Sure.
What if we're not putting Alexis Morgan in front of a camera every week and going like, all right, Alexis, I need you to talk to Kawhi Leonard as if he's going to play it all this season.
God.
Go ahead.
Okay, wait, hold on. Right now, it is 3:04 Pacific time on October 17th, 2024. We are going to come back the day after the finals. How out of 82 games, John Warren, how many basketball games is Kawhi Leonard going to play this year?
16.
I'm going to say 33 basketball games.
It's so hopeful. You got for Ballmer's sake. Yeah. Hope you're right.
You just opened a brand new building. You you're saying 16, and I'm saying did I say 33?
I think he's gonna. Yeah, you said 33. So I think he's gonna miss a lot more in the early than they assume, and they're gonna hold him out until after the All-Star break.
Yes.
And then they're gonna say, all right, Kawhi, you're gonna play the last 35 games or whatever. and it's going to be awesome. And he's like, and he's going to give it a go, but it's going to be like 1 out of every 3 games he's going to sit for the rest of the year.
Is this his last year?
At all playing? I think so. His knees are so fucked up. Yeah.
For a while, I was
which is sad
which is unbelievably sad because like really when he's on, I am genuinely John Warren, not scared of any other player the way I am of Kawhi Leonard. He's crazy at basketball. For a while, I was like, I feel like LeBron is the first player who would be like, I'm only playing for the playoffs. You sign me in March.
Yeah. Wow. God, to be a fly on the wall in Adam Silver's office, to be confronted with LeBron fucking James going like, hey, Adam, I'm only going to play in the playoffs. And for just to watch Adam Silver go like, I have no idea how to deal with this. This is setting such a precedent I can't at all keep up with. It's LeBron.
But I do think that if the Clippers slide into the playoffs,
maybe it happens.
Kawhi comes back.
Yeah, he comes back
2 weeks before the beginning of the playoffs. He plays those 2 weeks and then plays until they get eliminated in the second round.
Yeah. Yeah. Until Denver beats them in 5.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. 16, is that what you said? 14?
I said 16. I think it's 16. I think it's dire when you're like a week away from the season starting and you're like, he's out indefinitely. I'm like, that's not good.
Do you know how insane it has to be that the Clippers said he's Gucci and then USA Basketball, an organization that functionally only exists every 4 years, is like, I don't think so, bud.
I don't think so.
He's
I don't
cooked.
think so. Yeah, he's cooked.
I'm glad he got. I'm glad he got his one. He has 3 rings.
I need to look at. Yeah, he does. I need to look at the qualifications, but like what he should do, and this is honestly not a joke. He should do wheelchair basketball at the next Paralympics. Like, how fucking sick would it be to watch Kawhi Leonard be the Wilt Chamberlain of wheelchair basketball?
That's like, what I'm saying. Like, I also think this about LeBron. LeBron's definitely not going to be playing capital B basketball in 2028. Mm-hmm. I do think there's if I could put money on this, I legitimately I would put $100 American on LeBron James playing 3x3. In 2028.
I think so. I think him and Joe Johnson and Tim Duncan.
We win. That's a gold medal.
That's a gold medal. Yeah.
I don't think that athletes are attentive enough to how easy it is to win Olympic medals.
I know.
In a lot of cases.
I know. Gilbert Arenas should go into shooting. He should absolutely go into like the marksman stuff. Like, can you fucking imagine? You're like
the U.S. shooting team is Plaxico Burress and Gilbert Arenas.
You're like totally checked out on Olympic stuff, but it's on. You're like, oh man, that guy is zooming down the mountain on those skis. Like, holy shit! Oh, this is the one where they get to the bottom and they shoot a gun like a Bond villain. Okay, wow, this guy is shredding, and his shoulders are so broad. And he gets down to the bottom of the hill and whips his mask off. It's fucking Gilbert Arenas. Bam! Be amazing.
That would be incredible. Sick.
So anyway,
I read Oscar Pistorius's Olympic Wikipedia page. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought you were going to say like a book he wrote or something.
Okay. So here's what I think actually happened in retrospect.
If I kill my wife.
Did I start watching Norm Macdonald clips before or after I watched Sushi Glory Hole?
Oh my God.
I don't remember, but I watched a lot of Norm Macdonald clips, and he has a bit about Oscar Pistorius that he did on Conan. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, I forgot about that guy that killed his wife for sure. Yeah. He's on parole now. He's out of jail.
Right. Yeah.
As of recently, he's on parole.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I forgot that everyone was like, that guy's cheating. And I was like, gang, that's the opposite of cheating. Like, I cannot stress to you how opposite not having legs is to the idea of cheating for running. It would be easier if he had legs. Not having legs is not cheating.
It's like the most like professional wrestling thing I've ever heard. I'm just like I remember Lex Luger got into a terrible motorcycle accident in the early 90s. They were like, God, he might lose his arm. So they put like a steel plate in his arm. And then they got back. He's like, he's using the steel plate in his arm. And I'm like, okay, like that's funny, but like the dude can't use his arm.
Yeah, he can't. He's not in a better place on account of his no legs.
Well, I will say this: the guy that set the record for the longest field goal, Tom Dempsey, back in like I think the 60s or 70s for New Orleans,
fake leg,
half a foot. So he used a shoe that had like a snub nose on it.
Oh, that is cheating, like an aluminum bat. That is cheating.
Yeah.
That's different.
Yeah,
running with no leg, that's not an advantage. That's hey gang. There's a reason he didn't win when he ran in the regular Olympics. If it was cheating, he would have won.
What did he think happened? He's like, he was like, all right, I fucking crashed out. Cut my legs off. like if I can't win like the normal race, like just cut my fucking legs off. Let's see what happens. Like stupid. It's so dumb.
Foolish. Anyway, I'm glad that the 2K team is able to do anything else. I wish it would be.
I am too.
I wish it was a situation.
Confusing.
It doesn't make any sense. I just wish that they were able to perhaps make another video game about it.
Like they should absolutely have packaged this not as part of NBA 2K.
No, if this game was,
should have just been like
this game
this
was
is from the 2K team.
Yes,
and it's a $15 game.
Yes,
that we can just go play, or it's fucking free to play with like cosmetic. Yes. I don't care.
No,
then this would have gone down smoother. Yes. I think.
Then you have to have already spent money. That's the other thing. This game costs $80.
Yes.
How much? I don't know if it's $80.
It's $70, but there's like
but that's what I'm saying. It's
like
$70
and $110.
No. But you have to pay for this DLC. To play this mode, you have to pay. So it's $70 plus 10. I'm assuming this is $9.99. I hope it's not more than $9.99.
Let's see, Gravity.
It comes out tomorrow, so I get it might not have been announced.
It's okay. $8, $7.99.
They could. Can you imagine if they said a game from the 2K team is out on the store right now? It's $8.
I would try it.
It's on Steam. Exactly. Yep. Like literally, yes. It's on Steam. It's on PlayStation. It's on Xbox. It's $8. And why is it connected to 2K? Like why? Why is it connected to 2K25? The logic is like
I'm not gonna go in and play that and go like, it's not like Luka Doncic is like the fucking player that you're playing.
Exactly. No,
it's just some random whatever. It's just
you're not even your my player.
No, you're not even your my player.
You put a suit on. You have a helmet on. You're not even your guy.
You look like a Tron.
Yes. Yeah. So bizarre.
Very bizarre. And the other thing I'll say is that like if this even gets remotely any sort of traction,
it won't. But
it won't. But if it did, Fortnite could put this together
tomorrow. There's a child is already hard at work putting it in the game right now. They'll be done on Friday.
And because this is not at all licensed, as far as I can tell, like the actual in-event stuff at Gravity Ball,
sure.
Like you're not.
It'll be in the game on Friday.
You're not losing anything by just creating a facsimile of this.
Yeah.
So it's a very odd piece. It's a very odd thing to make and a very odd thing to release this way.
Yeah.
I knew we'd get a lot out of that conversation.
Yeah, and you know what, John? We did.
You
know who else had a big conversation today?
Who did?
Microsoft.
Wow.
Microsoft penis. Am I right? Do you get it, John? Microsoft penis. Tiny, soft dick. Do you get it, John? I'm an Apple fanboy. The year is 2007.
John Hodgman's rolling in his grave. John Hodgman's not dead. I hope I did not jinx John Hodgman.
No, John Hodgman, please.
Please, John Hodgman. Come on the show. But yeah, so Microsoft had a showcase. They have partner showcase, so not first-party titles, but a bunch of third-party stuff. And like, honestly,
pretty good.
They kind of cooked.
It was better than the Sony one that they did last.
Oh, it was a lot better than the Sony one. Started strong with the Lake House, which is a DLC for Alan Wake 2.
Takes you into getting work again. That's huge.
Getting work again takes you into the oldest house, I think. Mm-hmm. Like, it was a little hard to tell, but it kind of looked like that. Looks spooky, looks scary, looks cool. Going back into that world is interesting, but it's not the most interesting way we're going back into that world.
No, because we're getting a 3-person Left 4 Dead where you're just a regular ass Federal Bureau of Control employee, government grunt, running through the Post-its room, shooting zombies, killing guys. There's a gun where you shoot it at the ground and it's like a rocket jump, but it's actually a battering ram. And you can hit guys with it, and you can look down to jump. Looks sick as hell.
It looks really, really sick. The guns look strange. You can shoot this like weird
gun,
gloopy poison looking stuff at people. It's such a smart, goofy idea. Like, I think there are a lot of franchises that could do this thing, and I kind of roll my eyes and go, like, if The Last of Us tried to do this, which they did. Yeah. They tried and then canceled it. I would be like, oh, brother. But this is just like, the lore can handle it. The world they've built can handle it. And it's like, you just have so many sick ideas from a gameplay perspective that you're like, man, let's translate this to a first person shooter. And it's like, great.
And I think like the lore thing is so important because from a storytelling perspective, you progress that story between now. This means Control is not coming out next year, obviously. Control 2 is not coming out next year. So that means it's 2027. Right? 2026, like
late 6,
early
6.
7.
I would guess like fall window 2026.
Yeah. So that's great, right? Like this can't have been as intensive as Control 2. You silo this team off to make this thing. You still progress the story. You have at the end of this year, you have the Lake House DLC. You start telling more specific Control-esque story in this bit. And then you get a Federal Bureau of Control themed game next year. It's fresh in people's minds. Control 2 comes out. People are juiced and excited and ready. Like it makes a lot of sense and is also you stretching and flexing your muscles. Do I expect this game to feel incredible? No,
maybe not.
Probably not. But also, it might just be an Unreal. I don't fucking know. Like it could just be like, you know how easy it is to make a first person shooter in Unreal? Really easy.
It could just
unbelievably
assets,
easy. Yes, like it could be competent. Like or actually, here's how I'll phrase it. I think you have to assume that the base level will be competent, which is huge, actually.
Right.
For one of these, because if the gameplay is competent and then Remedy does what they do best, which is story and like interesting plays on the medium itself, and then the gameplay is simply competent, that's exciting to me.
Yeah.
And then if the gameplay is exciting, then what a pleasure, what a treat, what a joy.
Delicious.
Yes, yummy.
Yummy, my tummy. I would play this. There are not a lot of Left 4 Dead likes that I
remember. Back for Blood.
Yeah, you're still good at that.
Just had time to get back, kids up. Let loose for the guns. Let's get me hanging about.
Your AC/DC sounds like Toad getting belvedered.
I said I'm a boss.
Cancel the party. I think I don't play a lot of those games, and because I get it. Like fast.
No, for
I
sure.
Get it.
So you're not doing anything different 10 hours in that you were doing in minutes.
Get it. Yeah. And it's really been that way since Left 4 Dead, honestly. Like a lot of my friends really love that. A perfect video game. But a lot of people really love that and would play hours upon hours. And I was like, I was always good for like 3 games of it. Mm-hmm. And then I'm good for a while.
Yeah. And then you come back 9 years later when they've modded in the Fall Guys, and you can be Master Chief, and the Fall Guys make the Fall Guys noises when you shoot them. Yep. Like that's when you come back.
There's Cuphead's balls. Like,
yes, exactly.
There he is. Like I think with a world like Controls and Alan Wake's and kind of the weapon differences that we saw, there seems to be a lot of like stuff that there seems like more opportunities for immersion gameplay that feels interesting to me. So I definitely want to check this out. That one definitely looked cool. Another one that I thought looked okay, but I was more mesmerized by the way the marketing was for it was a multiplayer game called Blindfire, which looked like a really bad laser, like a laser tag arena.
Yes.
With like a bunch of
fluorescent paint. It looks like a game that is on the TV in House of Cards.
Yeah. well, I've abandoned my duties as president. I've played too much Blindfall. I pushed that lady on the train, played 6 hours of Blindfall. Got barbecue sauce all over my my Xbox Elite 2.
Knock, knock.
I'm cracked. I'm one. So
does he die at the end of that one? Does he die when they write him off? Does he get killed?
I think,
or does he just
killed.
die?
No, he
gets got.
I think he gets got. Yeah, something like that. But the way it says this is a first-person shooter that eliminates the presence of light. That's not what I saw. That's not.
I can see a lot of
stuff in that. So I didn't really understand that one. That was an odd one. We got another trailer for Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii.
Dude, which that game looks fucking sick. It
looks so fucking sick. There's this giant like pirate hub where like you do a bunch of shit and it looks wild as fuck.
There's a big monkey.
Samoa Joe's in this thing.
Boat combat like in Skull and Bones, and
the fact that the Yakuza team is just like, what if we made Skull and Bones and it just seemed like fun and we make it within a year?
It took us
like that Uber if I'm Ubisoft, I can't even say out loud what I would do if I worked for Ubisoft. Like, and I saw this happen. Because it's just like
that is an engine that is built on turn-based combat and hand-to-hand Batman Arkham style combat, and they said,
let's put boats in it.
It's got boats in it now.
Yeah,
that's crazy. It took them a year.
That game looks incredible. I can't wait to play that. I'm also going to give. I can't believe I'm going to say this. I'm going to give Team Bloober some credit for following Silent Hill 2, which by most accounts is a very good remake of that game, with this game called Cronos, The New Dawn, which like had elements of it that kind of seemed goofy to me, but the overall like vibe and look of it as a survival horror with some combat stuff in it.
Yeah.
I'd probably play it.
Yeah, seems interesting.
Seems fine.
But I was like,
because it's too scary.
This will be good. Too spooky. When you say Bloober, I say no. Bloober. No.
Yeah, instead, Nikki wants to play Mouse PI for hire. all day. Every
now,
day.
I thought that game was in the vein of that, like whenever like a Disney goes into the public domain, which is what this is. I need to be very clear. That is what this is. Whenever a Disney goes into the public domain, you get like it's spooky. But this seems kind of cool, actually.
Yeah,
like I was actually like kind of like, yeah, sure. If I have to spend $0 on this, like.
Yeah, it's a first-person shooter with some detective elements. All the 3D environments are like, rendered kind of in a modern way, but all of the 2D sprites are in this kind of Cuphead, old Disney style of animation. So it's kind of interesting. So I'm at least interested in that. Everything else I could kind of take or leave. But I thought it was a pretty strong showcase, honestly.
Yeah. There was an anime game in there. Who cares?
Yeah, I know.
Not me.
I didn't.
There was something else in there.
Phasmophobia is out for Xbox, which is,
okay.
I think a very good game, but it's just too scary for me.
Why am I not afraid of Phasmophobia?
I don't know, because I'm very afraid of Phasmophobia.
That game's nothing. That game to me is as scary as like walking through a Spirit Halloween. Like it's less scary than a Spirit Halloween, because at least when you walk through a Spirit Halloween, you are confronted with the depravity of humanity, and the representation of excess and the manifestation of death, not literally, but like corporate death, because you're walking through an empty closed CVS at 2 p.m. So like that part is scary, but like nothing that happens to Phasmophobia is scary to me. Okay. They're not real, John.
Why don't you play it tonight?
I will. Well, I can't.
Right, go ahead.
I'm going to watch ambient jazz and drink tea.
Okay. Well, that sounds fun. No,
it does. I'm actually fucking amped about it.
Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds fun. All right, we got a question. Questions. You can send us a Hive question every single week if you go to vgbs.com/join. You can join the Hive at any paid level. You'll get access to the Hive category. You go down to Hive content channel and ask us a question, and we will answer it on the show. Let me start with Grace asking this question. Favorite vacation? Conversely, what's the worst thing that ever happened to you on vacation?
Oh man, favorite vacation. Do you have one off the top of your head?
Yeah, my answer's kind of cheating, but it was the week we got married, because we went to New Orleans, and like so many people we knew were there, just kind of in the French Quarter with us for like 4 days.
Yeah.
It was not hot. It was in January, so it was kind of like mild outside, and they had just had a weird like freeze, but like we didn't get that, so like it kind of scared away a lot of people.
Huge.
So it was really, really lovely. So that was a really good vacation. And I also went to like Hawaii like 6 years ago, and that was really fun. And yeah, I don't know.
I'm trying to think. I feel like there isn't one that like screams to me as great.
Yeah.
Like I feel like all of them come back and I'm like, well, I didn't work for that amount of time.
Yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah.
Worst vacation.
Oof, man. I mean, the worst thing that's happened to me on vacation, I've got like 4 off the top of my head.
My worst one was not even it was kind of just like mid when I went to Mexico in February 2020. But it was bad because it afterwards was like, well, it's crazy that was the last thing I ever did outside, because I was like, I didn't do anything. So like in retrospectively, it turned bad because I was like, well, I'll never go outside again.
I missed that chance.
So that sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, I think straining my knees in Charleston,
that was probably bad. Yeah,
not good,
not ideal.
It basically just like I was just in pain for like 2 straight weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So that was not great. When Ann and I visited LA before we moved to LA,
mm-hmm.
and one night we went to the Promenade in Santa Monica,
mm-hmm.
and we were like, we should go see a movie.
What'd you go see?
Saw Dumb and Dumber 2.
Wow.
And my wallet was stolen during the movie because I left it in the pouch attached to my wheelchair in the back of the movie theater. And someone just took the whole thing off. And so I didn't have my car keys, my wallet. And this was the night before we were supposed to fly back to Austin. So that's
why you moved there, because it was impossible to leave.
No, I moved there so I could find the guy that did it Liam Neeson style. And I did find him, and I did kill him.
You killed him. That's great.
So,
that's huge.
Yeah, it was great.
I'm glad.
So that was also not good.
God,
that was not good. Yeah,
that seems like a bad one.
That was a pretty bad one. I found out an old partner cheated on me while we were in Spain together.
Rough.
So we both had a couple of drinks, and they were like, yeah, that guy that you thought I slept with, I totally did that. And I was like,
cool. Well, at least we're in Spain.
And then the only reason I didn't break up with them is because no one else knew how to fold up my wheelchair. And so then we stayed together for we got married. That was the first time married, eventually. The first person. So
that's good.
So I've had some bad vacations.
No, for sure. And that's the grand arc of time, I think.
Yeah.
I should get stabbed on a vacation once.
No, I don't want that to happen. I don't think you should do that. I don't think you should do that.
Be a big sign that says, please stab me.
Grace, by the way,
bad vacation.
Grace, by the way, asked that question because she got severe food poisoning first day in Berlin and had to call emergency services.
No,
which is rough. I mean, having to get emergency services in a foreign country.
Yeah, if it's a situation where I have to call 999 or whatever.
To be totally clear, I'm not saying they don't have the resources that Americans have to save my life. No, that's not at all what I'm saying. I'm saying I would just be so embarrassed, and
I'm embarrassed, and I don't want to have to figure out what to do about it.
Mm-hmm, right?
Because you don't just get sick in another country. That's paperwork. You have to do stuff after.
Yeah, you got
you have to live through the embarrassment of being in the hospital. Then afterwards, they're like, "All right, so you're American, right?" And you have to say, and they say, "Okay, well,
you owe us $48,000.
$48,000.
We got to operate under the system where whatever your system is, we abide by it.
But I guess you could just leave Germany and never go back.
Yeah,
I think that's how that works. That's I have an outstanding parking ticket in New York City.
Oh yeah,
I'll just never drive there again.
Just absolutely not.
Yeah,
absolutely not.
I don't live there. That's not my problem.
You don't live there. It's not your problem. Great question, Grace. Sorry about your food poisoning.
Yeah,
that's tough. Could not be worse. Asks, if you're the type to listen to music while writing or working, what are the best game soundtracks to get work done to? Game soundtracks. I mean,
soundtracks.
For me, it's less about a full game oeuvre and more about picking specific my work playlist, my quote working playlist, which I use, I don't know, maybe 4% of the time I'm ever working. There are a lot of video game tracks on it, but they're pulled specifically because so it's there's a lot of Persona 5 stuff that I like, but it's not the whole thing. The battle theme that's gonna distract me too much.
I can't listen to music I know when I'm working.
I hear that.
If I know the song,
I find myself throwing on a bunch of random jazz playlists that you don't know.
Yeah, that's exactly where I'm at. Like if I know the music that I am working to, I am actually not working. I'm listening to music. So it has to be sounds that I've never heard before. Or there are similar enough in parallel that they kind of sound the same, but I can't listen to music that I know when I work.
There are some piano covers of Nobuo Uematsu tracks from Final Fantasy, especially 10, that I think are particularly chill. And some of them are kind of like composed or kind of like rearranged in a way that makes you not realize that that's what you're listening to for a second, which is kind of cool. So because I also have that thing where it's like, if I know it, it's tough for me to necessarily drown it out in my head. So yeah, those are fun. I think if you're going to just take a bet on one soundtrack that you could probably work to pretty well, it probably would be Final Fantasy X. That's a good one that doesn't have like, it does have like an incredibly hard rock track. Its battle theme is not very chill, but the rest of it is pretty good for that.
Well, if you listen to the battle, have you considered, listener, just listening to the battle theme for Metaphor Refantasio constantly, uninterrupted on singular loop? Have that guy chant rapping into your ears.
Yeah,
that sounds great.
Does sound great. Jason asks, I just made up a rumor BGBs was in talks to sell to Tencent. Would you care to comment?
Well, that's huge, actually.
I mean, it's like,
because they don't know how much anything is worth.
It does.
So we're about to cash out.
It does track because they also buy a bunch of worthless shit too. So,
yeah, no, but for sure, I understand that. But we're cashing out. Then
I would love. Oh my god! I mean, but my honest assessment is that if Kyle came to me tomorrow and he was like, John, I don't know, man, they told me that your thing is worth $1 million. I'd be like,
okay, yeah, take it,
absolutely, 100%. You can have it. You can have it. Anything you want. Anything you want. You have whatever you want. I don't care.
Who gives a shit?
Who gives a shit? I'll start another thing.
I'll do it again.
I'll retire. Who cares? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Chris asks, actually, who would you most like to sell these to if I had to? Which is like a funny question because it's like, I was about to say, it was like, in terms of overpaying, it would definitely be them. But it's a funny question because it's like the circumstances under which I would need to sell it are like John's dying or something. Yeah. So, I mean, it's not worth much right now. I mean, whatever it will be or will turn out to be in like 5 years, if I'm thinking of it that way, like, I don't know, I'd sell it to Jan or whatever the fuck, Giant Bomb's doing, or, I don't know, see what if Gersman's still kicking the tires. Who knows? Like that'd kind of be fun. But that's probably what I would do. But Tencent is the real answer because they'd overpay for
They're
it.
They're going to overpay. That's so critical.
Yeah,
you need someone stupid.
Yeah,
who doesn't know how much a dollar is worth.
I don't. Yeah, absolutely.
So they can say it's worth.
Sphinx asks, what would the monsters look like for you in Silent Hill? The idea being that Silent Hill monsters, manifestations of your mind, kind of, showing you the thing that you fear the most. Sure. So yeah, what's his face?
It's all bugs.
Like, all it's like this. What's his face? He's all like crotches and tits and stuff. And it's like, okay. So for you,
me,
it's bugs?
all bugs. Yeah.
Okay.
It's all bugs with the faces of people who I think have wronged, or who I think I have wronged.
Oh, you think you have wronged. Mm-hmm. So it's just kind of like a guilt.
Mm-hmm. And it's
all guilt bugs. Silent Hill. Yeah. Guilt bugs and Silent Hill. Yeah, ooh, man, that's tough.
Yeah, scary, huh?
That's tough. Yeah,
spooky.
That's scary.
Ooh.
Spooky. Lots of moths for me.
Yeah.
Big dusty ones, real fucked up ones. Maybe they scream a little.
Ooh.
Maybe they scream a little.
Big enough to hit with a gun, but also some of them are not big enough to hit with a gun.
Yeah. Some of them are just like annoying.
Yeah. That's great.
That'd be a lot of those. I think like just a lot of stairs, mods and stairs,
mods and stairs.
Mods and stairs.
Yeah. And like very critically, like broken elevators.
Broken elevators. Yeah. Not a single one works.
Yeah.
When they do work, there's something real fucked up about it. Like
too small, you get stuck in it.
Like all the buttons have like a thumbtack sticking out of it that you have to actually hit, like Saw style Jigsaw. Hit the button.
He's in Fortnite.
Cut your butt off.
He's in Fortnite.
Is he? Jigsaw is?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't see that.
He's in Fortnite and Leatherface is there.
Do you want to go to Tomato Town?
Exactly.
Nice.
Leatherface is there. Edward Scissorhands is there.
I saw Edward Scissorhands.
I think they're adding Cruella DeVille next week.
All right. Cool.
So all the stars are here.
All the stars are here. Lots of bug theme with our Silent Hills.
Yeah.
Okay, last question. Jason asks, is there a game that was announced with a trailer and everything that got canceled that you still wish would get made? Deep Down. I've not thought about that in a long time.
Deep Down did come out though. It's called Dragon's Dogma 2.
It did. Yes.
It did come out.
It did come out.
Scalebound though is actually my answer. The
Xbox
One game from Platinum where you were a guy who fought big dragons. I was like, that's video games to me. And then it never came out.
I think like I'm cheating a little bit because I don't think it got a trailer, but I'm pretty sad that Chrono Break never happened. So Chrono Trigger, Chrono Cross, and Chrono Break was supposed to be the third one, and that just kind of never happened. Also, Mother 64. I'm sad we didn't get that. I'm sad we didn't get that because that was really bizarre, and I wanted to see that one. That would have been cool.
Well, you can't.
You can't. So there you go. Then that's the way the cookies. Let's get out of here. You gotta go drink tea.
We didn't talk about the Pokemon leak at all.
We didn't talk about the Pokemon leak at all. That's because I've not researched it at all. What did you find? What did you find in it that was interesting?
I mean,
a lot of people reacted weird to it.
Here's how
we expected.
No,
to be expected.
I think it's like it's weird. I think it is interesting because I think that there is like so little value in secrecy on stuff that is this old.
Agreed.
Is like mostly how I feel. It is more instructive and educational for people to be able to see this stuff and understand the process of how video game is made than it is for Game Freak to keep this the most popular and expensive property on the internet. Or like not on the internet, the most expensive and popular product on the planet. No one wins that way. Was it stolen? Yeah, for sure. Is it sick to know that Nintendo was calling a Pokemon Mew 3 for a while before they said, I think maybe that's kind of too much.
It's too much.
Yeah, it's great actually. Is it cool to see the thought experiments they were doing where they very clearly asked their writers to be like, all right, there's a fucked up world where there's like people in Pokemon do fuck. Like that's just how it is. What if that was the case? Like, is it grim? Yeah, for sure. But is it actually really interesting to watch these creative teams stretch their brains in ways that it's like, how do we figure out what the limits are between Pokemon and human interaction? That's great. That is like so instructive to them, even if they don't end up writing /fic about Typhlosion and a human person fucking. Like that stuff is interesting.
There was a multiplayer game that was supposed to kind of be like Splatoon, which we don't know anything else about, but that's kind of wild.
Yeah. I also think that it is really legitimately interesting that like this leak came out and the person or people who pulled the hack very explicitly were like, we do have a bunch of stuff for the unreleased games and we simply are not going to release it. Like, I do think that is like from an ethical perspective, very interesting because it feels like this is more preservation. Right. Like it feels malicious compliance preservation-y than it does like we are intentionally trying to blow up. Like obviously they're blowing up Game Freak's spot, but
which is interesting because like out of all the companies that would not see any sort of meaningful difference between those things, it would be Nintendo.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's like they're like, no, we're going to come after you to the fullest extent of the law, even though you're probably doing this from a preservation standpoint.
For sure.
But you're right. It is interesting.
There's a Twitter account that I've been following, Centro Pokemon, and I'm pretty sure they're based in Peru. And from what I've gathered is that they don't have rules down there on this stuff. So it's like Gucci and fine.
Yeah.
But they like got a shoot email from the Pokemon company and Game Freak today that was like, we just want to chat. We just want to have a little talk. So that stuff sucks, but I also deeply think that like it is so the amount of stuff that is out there now, especially about the ways that they think about Pokemon and the ways that they are for the first like wave of leaks was like minutes from meetings about how like how very specifically they wanted Ash to be written off of the anime. And they were like, we need to make it so clear that this boy is not dying. His journey is not over. We just are not watching him anymore.
Yeah, we're just he's off doing his own thing.
The camera is looking somewhere else.
He just disappeared like for a while.
It's exactly like that.
Yeah,
like he's gonna come back over later. We need to keep that door open, but it like. I think that stuff is so interesting. Like I care more about Pokemon in the result of these leaks or as a result of these leaks than I have before any of this stuff was out. Because I'm like, oh, people really do be making these video games because it doesn't feel like that when they come out anymore.
No. I mean, it did definitely, the things I did read about it did definitely kind of humanize the process in a way that, both made me think a little bit differently about kind of how I've thought about those teams, but also made me almost double down on these are teams that clearly have
they have ideas
and ideas and like a lot of stuff that they want to do and nobody's really letting them
no one's letting them do it. Yeah.
And so like, it's pretty weird to me.
The one little nugget that did come out is that like Pokemon ZA, the Legends game is going to look and feel closer to Scarlet and Violet, which is like, those games looked and felt like shit. So like, that doesn't seem great to me. But I don't know. To your point, there are people there that have ideas. Yeah. And it is like actually very nice to be able to look at this stuff and be like, wow, they have had a lot of ideas. People actively are thinking about this stuff. It just does not seem like they are able to do anything about those thoughts and ideas.
Yeah.
So
it seems like they're miles ahead in their thinking of what they're actually able to accomplish, which like, yeah, I mean, like that's always kind of going to be the case, but that gap feels longer, like much longer with that team than
the gap between idea and execution is huge.
It's very, very big.
Yeah.
But that is an interesting leak. Yeah, it does seem a little more preservation and historical minded, which is interesting. And yeah, I don't know. All these leaks coming out of Nintendo are always really fun to
change your passwords, I guess. Huh?
Yeah, change.
Like, what's your freaking deal?
The InfoSec teams at Nintendo are starting to fall on the job a bit. Yeah, it's definitely interesting. Let's
get out of here.
Niki, you have anything to plug?
No. Fledgling Manor is a great video game that has a demo out available right now at in-secret-places.itch.io, I think.
The PC version of it is also up on Steam now.
Steam, yes. So you can get the demo right now. Our friends LB and Merritt are making it. And it's a vampire reality show visual novel. It's delightful from what I've played. And it comes out soon. I actually don't know, but
they're saying before the end of the year.
That's great.
That's you know what? That's not far from now.
We're halfway through October somehow.
Halfway through October.
So yeah, Fledgling Manor, FLEDGING Manor, MANOR.
Yeah, check it out. You can also listen to Nikki and I on a show called If You're Driving, Close Your Eyes. We have made over 100 episodes of that thing. This week's episode features Mary Kay that we just talked about. So you can come listen to her on that show. LB is going to be on the space station again. You know what? Let's just say it, on vacation.
Yeah, on vacation.
Because it's like, it's good. Vacation's great.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'll be a fun one as well. You can go to vgbs.com/join to join the Hive. We just put up a bonus episode last week with a patent attorney, Kirby Drake. It was kind of a fun conversation. I got her to admit that if Microsoft leans too hard into promoting some aspects of the Pal World mechanics, they may actually be liable in some way in the lawsuit. Of course, they're going to be so much more careful than that.
Yeah, no, for sure. What is Pal Worlds?
Yeah, they're like something called Pal Worlds out. We don't really know what it is about.
Yeah, who is that?
If they made an ad that's like, no one's ever done monster catching like Pal World, then they would be like, in a lot of trouble.
Oops.
Which is
I'm sure Phil Spencer
very delicious
got a
thing.
700-foot pole and said,
"Oh man,
away from me.
We will take your money, but boy, but that's up on the private feed if you are a Hive member. And thanks for joining us once again. This was a fun one. We'll see you next week for episode 22. And until then, keep it buzzing. Bye.